Those are both excellent portions of Scripture. I want to share a few more portions of Scripture today that I hope will give you some sort of comfort, maybe leave you something to think about as we come and as we remember Alvaro today. Some of you, if you've read the New Testament, you might remember the story of Lazarus. And Lazarus was, he was the brother of Martha and Mary. And Lazarus got sick. And Jesus found out about his sickness. Jesus delays his time getting over to see Lazarus. And by the time he comes to see Lazarus, Lazarus' sisters are just like upset. They're like, why didn't you get here sooner? And Jesus said something to them. He said this. He said that I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live, even after dying. Everyone who lives in me and believes in me will never, ever die. And then he asked Martha this question, do you believe this? I want you to think about how many times in that scripture, and there's going to be several scriptures I'm going to read, so I don't want to camp there too long, but the amount of times that the word belief comes up in that scripture is very interesting to me. Belief is not simply thinking about something and giving mental assent. It is trust and conviction. When Jesus was asking Martha, do you believe? And when Jesus was saying, anyone who believes in me will never die, he's talking about something incredibly deep. He's talking about something that gives comfort and confidence. And he said that if you have this comfort and confidence in who I am, even when you leave this mortal realm, you will never really die. Like I said, Alvaro used to smile a lot. I think he knew this deep in his heart. He knew that this life was a passing moment, but eternity awaited. You know, when we come to days like this, one of our trusts and our convictions and our beliefs is that our loved one, Alvaro, is no longer in pain. He no longer has to deal with the complications of hospital visits and tests and discomfort, and he doesn't have to deal with those things anymore. Our trust, our belief, our faith is that he is more alive now than he ever was. And his faith is now sight. The God that he believed in and followed on this earth is now the one who he is in the very presence without any question. That's our belief. That's our comfort today. And all of our loved ones who have lived in Jesus, that's our belief. But there is still a sting that we experience, and we cannot talk about that, if you know what I mean. We have to just say how true that is. But I want to let you know, even though there is a sting today, the Apostle Paul said that this sting that you and I are embracing, are experiencing, it's a sting that Paul told the Corinthian church in the New Testament. He said, the sting of death is swallowed up in victory. And it led Paul to asking the rhetorical question, O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting? You see, there is no sting for those who believe. Now obviously, there's an absence that we face, but there's a trust that our loved one is in a good place, in the best place that they could be in. You know, when I talk about beliefs this morning, we come in and we probably believe a number of things. And our beliefs, when you think about it, they can either bring us comfort or they can bring us condemnation. You see, we can be comforted today if we believe that we are truly loved and valued by God. And unfortunately, we can also bring condemnation upon ourselves if we believe we are hated and alone. Now, as a pastor, I have to tell you what I believe. I absolutely 100% believe that we are loved and we are valued by God, so much so that he gave us his only son, Jesus. And whatever you find yourself in today, whatever your mindset is, that love is not restrained by our beliefs, if you understand what I mean. That love does not cut off because maybe we don't want him. No, he loves at all times and in all ways. You know, the Apostle Paul also said, when he was talking about grief, he was talking to the Thessalonian church, and he said this about grief, which we are walking through today, and we'll walk through for the next while, because grief isn't something that just comes and goes. It's something that you learn to live with. But the Apostle Paul said this. He said, "Now, dear brothers and sisters, we want you to know what will happen to the believers who have died, so you will not grieve like people who have no hope. For since we believe that Jesus died and was raised to life again, we also believe that when Jesus returns, God will bring back with him the believers who have died." You see, our conviction as Christians